the Marvels, dude, straight up flopped. I don't know if you've seen the numbers lately, but I don't even think it's grossed 100 million yet domestically.
So it hasn't even paid for itself?
Oh, it's not even close to paying for itself. No.
Wow. 180 of was those CGI cats, man. Man, they could have cut that out and saved, a nice chunk of change.
We told them to cut it down to one cat, right?
Right.
Just do one cat. Yeah. That's got to be a lot cheaper, right?
And limit, which would also limit Sam Jackson's babysitting, right?
Absolutely.
He's not, walking around cuddling the cats.
He could have actually done something in the movie, you know? All right. Welcome to another episode of Only Comics. I am Mike. This is Adrian.
Good morning. Good morning.
How we doing, bro?
Lovely. Everything's nice, man.
It is, dude. A little warm up here. It's like summer's coming back.
Yeah. Well, give it a, the rest of the day. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know.
New England. You never know.
But another action-packed show here. We got some fun today, Adrian. We got King of the Comics, King of the Comic movies. Okay. Second part of round one. So we got to the first part last week. We have our new segment. We don't have a name. I mean, we respond, I guess, is what we did, right? You comment, we respond. Right. So last week we responded. And it's all in good fun. Some of you guys agree with us. Some of you guys don't. There was some critique this week, Adrian. They said that you were too agreeable. Like, well, what do you want them to do? Like, we do agree to disagree. And last week you didn't disagree. It happens.
The show is only comics, not controversy.
Right, yeah. It's like we're not going to disagree for the sake of disagreeing.
Right. Or agree for the sake of agreeing.
Like, there are some things we disagree about. You love the first Matrix movie.
Yep.
I can't get through it, So, but anyway, so we will respond again later. We have a hidden gem, as always. Right. And then we do have the agree to disagree. But first, we always like to jump into the news here on Only Comics. And on this show, if this is your first time with us, this is where we discuss comics and only comics. But sometimes some other stuff, right?
Sometimes
a little bit, but we have fun here. We kind of take a ride down the multiverse. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about this. You know why it's the multiverse here, Adrian? Because we live in reality, you and I, right? And then we do this show, and we put out our opinions and comment, and then some people online, they live in different realities with the things they believe. So that's partly why, we respond now at the end of the show. So we'll take some time to, get back to some of you guys that reached out this past week. But let's hop into the news, man.
Let's get it.
There's a lot going on this week, dude. So Logan. Now, Logan's a movie, one of my favorite comic book movies. Yep. We actually did a piece a couple weeks back where we put Logan against The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. And even though you're one of the biggest Christian Bale Dark Knight fans, you agreed. Now, be careful. They might get upset since you agree with me.
Let's see.
You agreed that Logan was a better movie, and we did a little deep dive into that. Yep. But there's some Logan news. We talked a lot about Deadpool 3 here, right? Okay. You're a big Deadpool fan, right?
Well, I'm not a big Deadpool fan, but it's entertaining. It's the right amount of comic relief. Yeah. His power set is cool, and the way they portrayed him in the movies is cool. Yeah. I didn't really even follow him before the movie. So
me neither.
But I think he's cool.
Yeah, I think that Ryan. You talk a lot about like these iconic portrayals, right? And Ryan Reynolds is right up there. Like I don't want to see anyone else playing Deadpool anytime soon. Yeah.
So it's like I didn't see him before. There is no before Ryan Reynolds kind of a thing. So I'm cool. I agree with you. I really don't want to see anybody else at this point because Ryan Reynolds kind of nailed it.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to him coming into the MCU and interacting with some of these established characters. Almost like it's too bad it's after the Iron Man and the Captain America. Like that'd be cool too. But I mean, there's still a great cast and some great characters for him to play off of. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
So there's some Deadpool 3 news. Logan star Daphne King, she plays X23 in the movie, which I love her character in that movie, by the way. She's a freaking savage.
Right.
The part where they're at the little trailer or their house, I guess, their property, and she cuts the dude's head off and just rolls it down the aisle like a bowling ball. But there's a rumor that she is now also going to appear in Deadpool 3 because this movie is it's going to be a multiversal movie, and that's everything the MCU is doing right now. And allegedly, they're looking for the prime variants of every hero or whatnot, right? Okay. So that's the rumor. But anyways, the new rumor is that Daphne King will reprise the role of X23 in this movie, which I think I'm excited about this, man. What about you? Do you want to see Laura was her name, and X23's kind of the comic name? Would you want to see her return again?
Sure, I'm all about seeing anybody that that can unleash that savagery and make it look cool, you know. And she did that pretty well. So hey, more power to her.
Yeah, like she was, and she didn't talk for like half the movie, which kind of added to her mystique. But I really enjoyed that character. Up next, Bob Iger, man, he's talking again, Adrian. Bob Iger's been he's been our Buster a while back. I think before we even had the name Buster, but he's if you don't know Bob Iger, he's the Disney CEO. He admits that the studio has made too many sequels recently, and they were talking about the box office flop because the Marvels. Dude, straight up flopped. I don't know if you've seen the numbers lately, but I don't even think it's grossed 100 million yet domestically.
So it hasn't even paid for itself?
Oh, it's not even close to paying for itself, no.
Wow.
Yeah, which I think the article said that it's on track to be the lowest performing MCU movie in history. That's even going back to like The Incredible Hulk, which was I think the lowest previous to this.
Wow.
We're talking almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Where box office didn't cost what it did now.
Right.
But so he said that.
So what was the cost of the movie versus where it is now?
The Marvels? I think it was a $200 million movie.
Oh wow.
If I remember right. Yeah, I think it was up over 200. And right now it's only grossed 77 million at the domestic box office and 187 worldwide. But here's the thing. They have to recoup like I think 100 million plus to even be because the budget for the movie doesn't take into account the marketing expenses.
So they got to do 300 plus.
Yep, to say hey they made their money back.
180 of was those CGI cats, man. Man, they could have cut that out and saved a nice chunk of change.
We told them to cut it down to one cat, right?
Right.
Just do one cat. Yeah. That's got to be a lot cheaper, right?
And limit, which would also limit Sam Jackson's babysitting, right?
Absolutely.
He's not walking around cuddling the cats.
He could have actually done something in the movie, But the Bob Iger's take on why this happened, why the movie flopped. He said it was shot during COVID, and there wasn't much supervision on set to speak, where we have executives looking over what's being done day to day and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, I don't know that the movie needed that. Yeah. It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, you gave it a pretty good score for Adrian's critique.
Well, considering who was in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. But like that being said, I don't think it flopped because it was a bad movie. It was better than a lot of movies that did well.
Right.
But a lot of it is I think people's lost faith in MCU a little bit right now, and they're not going to come out unless it's a sure hit, right? Like, new Avengers movie comes out, everyone's going to go. Deadpool 3, I mean, Guardians 3 did, I think, over $1 billion at the box office. But then you have movies like this where, I think you and I and 6 other people, you and I and like some of the people that watch the show are the only ones that have seen it.
Well, I think what happened is, and I'm probably to blame a little bit. You know, my the actress playing the major character in the movie, she doesn't fit, and everybody's watching on the comics.
Absolutely.
So I probably discouraged a handful of people. It probably was your fault. From going to the movies and therefore contributing to the budget.
Absolutely. So yeah, Bob, you're wrong. It was Agent. he apologized. It's okay. It happens.
Well, I didn't say that. You taking that too far.
Marvel's Agatha spinoff. So this is the show that's been renamed like 6 times. Right. What's cool is we have news about it and it's not being renamed again. So
well, what is it now? Agatha spinoff?
Yeah, it's still that's the show. No, it's still I don't know. It's still whatever it was last time we did this. So got it. Just go find that video and let us know. But there's some news about this. Darkhold Diaries. There it is. Darkhold Diaries is the new name.
Man, that's like 50 Shades of Grey or Black or whatever it was. Darkhold Diaries.
Ooh, yeah. Sounds a little. I don't know if we can talk about that on this show. We might have to do a mature show to talk about that one.
TVMA or something.
Seriously. But yeah, because first it was like Coven of Chaos and something. It was some witch name. I don't know.
Whatever.
But anyways,
that would actually make more sense.
Yeah. Well, and then they changed it.
Okay. Whatever.
So there was some scenes on or some footage of the shoot leaked on Twitter, right? A shot where Agatha, played by Kathryn Hahn, who I think is great in that role, she's seen walking on some cobblestone pathway in a dark woodland that looks very similar to Witch's Road. So some of this is maybe grasping at straws, but Witch's Road, I guess, is it's a place where only sorcerers can go. It's like a realm or whatnot, right? So what they're getting at, Adrian, is that we saw Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda died,
right?
But you and I talked about, we saw that kind of red flash that like, I know when people die, it normally doesn't happen, right? So we're comic people, so we're using comic rash,
right?
But so we see this thing happen, and then they're saying this show, they feel that Witch's Road is going to show up in this series, and so what I'm thinking is, does that mean that Wanda is going to be at Witch's Road? Because if sorcerers can only go there, she's not here in a human form. This is another realm. There's a way for everyone to come back in comics, always, right? You didn't know about this little special realm where you go when you die, and then if these 4 things happen, you come back.
Right.
So I'm thinking she's going to show up in this. What about you?
It's possible. I mean, because you're right. When you see a light at the end of something, right? If the light is dimming or dims, then that means they're probably gone. But if it doesn't, which is what happened in this case, then she could have just slipped into this realm where only witches can go.
Right.
So it's possible, dude. I mean, Wanda's such a strong character in the MCU and Marvel Comics and been around forever. I can't see her just going out, disappearing altogether.
Right, because she just became Scarlet Witch.
Right.
I mean, we saw her as just Wanda for a few. We kind of saw her origin almost, like her MCU origin anyway. And then she became Scarlet Witch in WandaVision.
Right.
And the next movie she's in, she's gone.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it that she's gone forever.
No.
She's probably, slipped into some like kind of, rehab for psychosis or something. She's gonna go and get better, and then she's gonna come back, and everybody's gonna love her.
Absolutely. And someone on Reddit, there was a chain that was talking about this Witch's Road. I guess it's a plane of existence where only sorcerers can tread. It was first introduced in a Scarlet Witch comic back in 2016, and I guess in that comic, Agatha guides Wanda through the Witch's Road to find why her witchcraft is weakening. So in that book, Agatha resides there. So who knows? I mean, if they're going to adapt that. That's the first time the Witch's Road has even showed up in the comics, was in this story. So if they're including it, I'm assuming they're pulling from it.
Right. Well, that also gives them leeway to make it anything they want.
Absolutely.
It to be. I mean, it could be another universe or another multiverse or
Sure.
some pocket dimension or something.
Yeah.
So they have free reign to do whatever they want to do since they just created it.
Yeah.
There's no history behind it.
Right.
So she could have just slipped into that as opposed to dying or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, we don't know what happens to a witch when they die in Marvel.
Right. She probably, slipped into this universe. So, the opening scene is that, she's on the side of the road in a ditch.
Yeah.
And some old carriage comes by, and then, they're in Witch's Road or lane or crossroads or whatever it is.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm going to predict. We make predictions here, and, I do have the moniker, Adrian.
Yes, sir.
You do know the moniker.
Yep.
It's he who is right,
Yep.
right? So, I'm going to make a prediction. I predict that Wanda's going to show up in this show.
I agree.
All right. Next, your boy's in the news, bro.
Who?
Nick Cage, my man, Nick Cage.
Boy.
He elaborates on the criticism about his Superman cameo in The Flash. So we saw The Flash.
Right.
we had some feelings about The Flash. I still say that it's mid. I mean, it's an easy movie to make fun at. I think I gave it like a 5. It's not the worst comic movie ever. The end was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I think that's hard, right? Like, when the movie's decent and then the end is just like a big old pile of shit.
Right.
It's hard. Like,
right.
Like, imagine having a great meal, dude, and then you burn dessert. You're like, come on.
Right. Or you go to, one of those donut places and you ask for a cinnamon raisin and you bite into it and it's onion.
Exactly.
That kind of a thing.
And it's burnt. Yeah, so anyway, in that movie, the whole multiverse explosion incursion shit at the end where all these different, Adam West shows up for some odd reason. Right. There was a little scene with Nicolas Cage as Superman. He fights this like little spider thing for like 2 seconds, then stops and he watches the world kind of, blow up, I guess.
I didn't see him fight anything. I just thought he stopped in midair and let the air blow through his 8 head.
You know, he definitely did that. But if even in this scene, if you got that picture, you see this like leg behind him. There was a short scene of him and some Supergirl fighting. But so now what he said was he didn't film that scene. He's like, I didn't fight no spider on set. He's like, what I saw in the film was not what I recorded when I was there.
Okay.
So he's not happy about that. He said that yep, he said that, you know, they had an agreement or whatnot, and it was supposed to linchpin to it, whatever the hell that means. But there's a mutual understanding that you've gone in knowing both sides full well what we're getting into. I'm not saying they used AI on Superman. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe it was CGI. But whatever it was, that's not what I did on set. He said, as much as I love Andy Muschietti, my boy, Muschietti.
Muschietti.
And his sister, Barbara, I do think they're great. It's still not what I was told to do on set. And he goes on to talk about how he does not approve of, after he's passed, them using his likeness again in film. Like, he wants his estate to fight that and make sure that when he's gone, he doesn't want AI to recreate him in film.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, once you sign those documents, they have the right to use your likeness indefinitely.
Right.
Forever and ever and ever for whatever they want. Yep. So, I mean, you kind of got to get over that.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, this confirms that, you know, these actors and actresses are watching only comics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who talks about Nicolas Cage?
Only
Nobody.
us. Only us.
And because we brought this up, you know, word got out that, you know, we were talking about Nicolas Cage. So now he's responding in some way because, like I said, nobody talks about Nicolas Cage. So there you go.
You heard
only
it first
comics.
here. Yep. Only comics with the only people talking about Nicolas Cage. Another person. Now, this person, a lot of people have been talking about all year. Taika Waititi. He is the director of Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's 1 out of 2. And we've got some critique from, you know, our fans online about this. They're like, oh, cut him some slack. You know, he only made one bad movie. I'm like, well, he also only made one good one. Like, and we, you know, we talked about the rumor of the Russo brothers coming back, and they're like, oh, you know, what about Taika? Like, well, you think the Russo brothers? Yeah, I do. I think they have a track record.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like
exactly.
He's 1 for 1, or, you know, 1 out of 2. He's 50%.
Right. So I was going to say, you know, 50-50. What does that make him? Mid?
Yeah, he's mid.
You know.
Yep. Russo's. I mean, every time they directed a Marvel movie, they knocked it out of the park.
Right.
So they're batting 1,000, and you got my man struggling over here, you know, 500, 50%. So, but he had said that he had no interest in directing a Marvel movie. The only reason he agreed to Thor was because he was poor.
Well, we see in your production that you had no interest in making a Marvel movie.
Right.
It shows in your movie. So, you know, I agree.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like now, what's funny though is that Thor Ragnarok was actually good, but I would assume that he probably had more of a leash on him in that movie, meaning like the studio probably had a tighter grip on that one.
Right.
They didn't give him free reign to add singing goats and naked Thor and fat Hercules. I mean, or fat Zeus and the stupid like. I mean, God, was that movie bad?
Dude,
was that worse than The Flash? That's a tough one.
You know what? I would say so.
Yeah.
Only because Thor, up until that point, had a track record. You know, of being a decent movie. Yeah. You know, initially when the first Thor came out, everybody was talking about, you know, why are they even making a movie about this guy, right? But you know, the production studios kind of redeemed that Thor character, and then at the end they end up producing this trash. So for me, it's more. Thor was worse than The Flash only because it was more disappointment than The Flash. By the time The Flash got around to this new guy, whatever his kidnapping boy, I mean, when him showing up in the MCU at any point, just trashed The Flash. So there is no disappointment with that. But with Thor, it was more disappointment than just being a bad movie. Yeah,
and I just think about, like, from this standpoint, if I had 2 movies and I had to watch one, and it was The Flash and Thor Love and Thunder today, I gotta say I'd probably rather watch The Flash than watch Thor Love and Thunder right now.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, because it was just, at least I know as soon as I turn on the TV or whatever, Flash is going to suck throughout.
Right.
and there's nothing, no emotion about it. It just sucks. But to watch Thor
it's a letdown.
Go through the process, it's just, oh my God, I'm just, it's like watching your kid get beat up or something.
Right, yeah. Watching Thor Love and Thunder is like watching your kid get beat up. You heard it first here on Only Comics. Taika, we know you didn't want to direct a Thor movie because guess what? You didn't direct a Thor movie. You directed some weird comedy on the second one with, screaming goats. So you're right. We agree. Chris Evans. You're a big fan of Captain.
Yep.
You're a big fan of Captain America, or no, in general?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wasn't a huge fan of Captain America, but he's like the bread on a dinner table.
Yeah.
He's a staple.
Yeah.
And he needs to be in some of these events. So yeah.
Yeah, so Captain America, the OG Captain America, Chris Evans, he addressed the so he might be listening too because we responded.
Right.
Now he's responding. Hey. So, I mean, the only logical thing would be he got it from us, right?
Exactly.
It's the easiest way to explain it. So anyways, Chris Evans addressed the rumors of Marvel getting the original Avengers team back together, which we reported a few weeks ago. Right. So, and what he kind of said was, well, first he said he hasn't been contacted yet, which, dude, that could mean he's telling the truth, or that could be complete bullshit, right? Because what's he going to tell you? Yeah, hey, they contacted me about joining the Avengers again, and we're going to do it in a couple years. No, he's not going to say that.
Right.
So that's, wasted piece of news. But he did say that he would play Captain America if things are just right, and he kind of said that like he has he holds that portrayal and that character in high regard, and he doesn't want to screw it up, and he would do it if everything made sense, which I like. I'd love to see him back, but under that circumstance.
And how are they gonna? I don't understand how they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
I mean, because they
have to be a variant or something.
That would make sense.
It's the only way.
Or like they did with the prequel X-Men kind of a deal. Yeah, that's the only way it would make sense. They can't bring it back now.
That's a good point too with Cap because of how he doesn't really age. You could go back to a time period, back in the day and show us some stories back then.
Right.
But also, I'm not too excited about that.
No, I mean, because what would be the point?
Right.
You would have to literally keep him back in that time period.
Yes.
So
because he's dead already.
Right. And so he doesn't overshadow the Falcon / new Cap.
Absolutely.
Whatever, So that would, I'm not feeling that.
You know what that sounds a lot like to me is Black Widow, where she's dead. And we'll wait like 4 years, and let's put out her movie now when no one cares because we know she died a few years ago.
Exactly.
And that movie happened like a few years before she died. It wasn't like this was 20 years ago and here's some prequel. But now a variant, now with this whole multiverse stuff, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, whatever that's going to come out to, there's going to be some variants of a lot of characters. So would you be okay? Like, how would you feel about Chris Evans coming back playing a variant of Cap? Not the Cap we know, but obviously he's still Cap.
All right. So the CW, the TV channel, right? They had the Flash back in the day, right? In the 80s or 90s. And so now they come up with this new Flash with the new guy, with the new kid, which I think is cool, right? But then they brought back the old Flash, from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, during was it a Flashpoint or some type of Crisis on Infinite Earth story or something like that?
I don't know what it, Garrett. They actually made him from another universe, and they brought him in so they can be the Flash together and kind of stuff. And it looks weird, he's older obviously, and the padding and all the other kind of stuff. So I'm okay with a multiverse version, but there's a cutoff. Yeah, like right now, Wolverine, he's kind of at the top of the hill kind of thing, where they need to cover up his big vein. And, he obviously, if he played an older Logan, cool.
Right.
But not the Logan where he's supposed to be in his prime.
Right.
If they had a Captain America, because by the time they make the movie with Chris Evans and they bring him on board, he's going to be,
You're talking 5 years at least, right?
Exactly. So some things will make sense. I'm not feeling it. I would say no. Just, leave him alone. Just let him die somewhere. Or he can do like a one-off, kind of like what they're going to do with, what's his face, the original Tony Stark. Make him an AI. That won't make sense either for Captain America. So just leave him alone. Leave him dead.
Yeah, because Tony, you could bring Tony back. Because he's in a suit. right? He's not a super soldier.
Right.
But to your point, if Cap comes back in 5 years and is not as big and doesn't look the same,
right?
I almost, the more I hear and more I read about him coming back and just thinking about Endgame and whatnot, I want to say that maybe that wasn't the right decision to get rid of Captain America.
I don't think it was the right decision at all.
No,
at all. And then this merging of the Falcon and Captain America, that's ridiculous. I
think that's something that should have been built longer. Like I don't like the idea of Falcon taking. I mean, he does in the comics, right? But I think it was too quick. And the main death we're dealing with in Endgame is Tony Stark.
Right.
Now I know Cap's not dead, but he's freaking he's an elderly man.
Yep.
So he's useless, right? So it's almost like that was not needed in that movie.
Right.
They should have just let him continue his story because we didn't get a lot. Like we got Cap, but there was still a lot more that he could have done.
Absolutely. There's a lot of adventures.
Yeah.
That they could have gone. They could have done just like the Spider-Man, just like the Black Panther, just like every other main character.
Right.
There's plenty of adventures that they could have got into. I mean, obviously it takes years for these things to come out.
Yeah.
So he played Chris Evans played Cap over 10 years.
Yeah.
Just like what's his face played Wolverine over probably 10 years.
Yeah, 10, 15.
I mean, that's a lot of, but they also have to keep themselves, up.
Right.
Their bodies up. They have to live a certain type of life in order to maintain this stuff. So, I mean, they could, like they did with Spider-Man, bring in another character to play, even though Chris Evans would be hard to, replace as Captain America.
Yep. It definitely would. But, yeah, I think about a lot more they could have done with him because, post-Endgame, that story, where that universe is perfect for Cap because Cap's always in these stories, at least in the MCU, where he's kind of like in a world where everything's screwed up. Right. Or he's out of place. Like I'm from this era, and now I was frozen for years. I wake up, now I'm here. He's always kind of like on the run, trying to figure stuff out. Everything's messed up for him. So the world post Endgame, I think, was perfect for that. Like you could have told great stories with him after that. Yeah. But hindsight's 20/20, right?
Right.
So anyway, I like that he's saying that he's very protective about if he returns because some of these guys will return and do anything.
Right. Like Michael Keaton.
Exactly. So, well, that's the news for this week, Adrian. Would you do you think we got a buster this week?
Waititi, Tiki Hat, whatever his name is. Yeah, him.
Tiki, yeah, I think him and Bob are fighting for it, but you say Tiki. I'm gonna say Bob, dude. Okay. You know why? Because now there you go. We just agreed. Oh my God. Right. Make a note, guys. But I'm gonna say Bob because of the dumbass comments he made about the fucking Marvels movie. But you know what? Let's flip a coin. I got my two-faced coin here. So you're saying Taika Waititi's our buster. Yep. I'm saying Bob Iger.
Heads.
Tails.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right, Bob. Now we're going to recap, and we're going to do our thumbs up, thumbs down. So I'll rapid fire these at you, Adrian, and we'll just say if this rumor, this piece of news, if we give it a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay.
All right. Logan star Daphne Keane rumored to reprise her role as Laura X23 for Deadpool 3. I'm going thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Bob Iger says that the Marvels suffered from lack of supervision on set, and he admits that the studio has made too many sequels. Like, that's the reason why the movie didn't do well. I'm going thumbs down. I'm
going thumbs up that he said that, but thumbs down on the news.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Agatha spinoff, or the WandaVision spinoff Agatha. There's some location links online, and that they tease Witch's Road, which indicates that maybe a connection to Wanda returning. If this rumor, do you give this rumor thumbs up or down?
I don't care.
Okay.
But I'll say thumbs up, just because it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm saying thumbs up. I'd love to see Wanda back. Nicolas Cage speaks out about his cameo in The Flash. Basically says that that's not what I filmed, and he's really not happy about him showing up to film one thing and then them taking his likeness and doing something completely different with it. I give this a thumbs up.
I agree. He's standing up for himself and his right. I mean, I understand that they have a right to do whatever they want to do with his likeness and image.
Yep.
But it's kind of shady for them to do that.
Absolutely.
So I agree.
Taika Waititi said he had no interest in directing a Marvel movie, and he only agreed to Thor because he was poor at the time. Thumbs down, dude.
Thumbs down. This guy, I agree. Thumbs down.
Like, and hey, dude, we know you had no interest.
It shows.
Yeah. In the first one, you covered it up well and made a good movie, and in the second one, it really showed. So, thanks. Chris Evans said he addressed the rumors of the Marvel Avengers team getting back together, said he hasn't been contacted yet, and he says that he would play him again if it was just right. But I'm going to give this a thumbs down. The more I think about it, let's just leave him alone.
Right. I agree. A thumbs down. I mean, not only just leave him alone, but why would they even put that news out there?
Right.
That's not even newsworthy.
Right.
Other than just to stay in the news,
in
the spotlight.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. That is our News Flash Buddy segment. Our buster is Bob Iger this week.
Yep.
And up next, we got your segment, Adrian. This is it's a fan favorite. It's Hidden Gem.
Okay.
You have a hidden gem that one of those where I've heard the name. I saw this character. I know one movie where the character showed up. I won't let you know the movie yet, so that I'm not spoiling. I'm not stealing your updates over there. Mm-hmm. But this character is one again. I recognize the name, but I don't know much about. So I'm interested to hear what you got, dude. Who's the hidden gem this week?
All right, let's jump into it. So this week is he's one of those people again. All right, so we seem to be at a point now where we're changing characters, races, genders, all this other kind of stuff. Last week we talked about a female Silver Surfer. Makes no sense. We got a black Nick Fury. We had a black Firestorm. You changed the culture of Namor, which I think is ridiculous. And the reason I think that this stuff is ridiculous is because there's so many characters in the MCU and the DCU that they haven't explored yet, which is the whole purpose of this hidden gem feature. There's so many characters that can be brought up that are female in other cultures that they don't need to change the major players, right? And this person is one of them. So this week's hidden gem is Sunspot. He is Brazilian. His father was, they call him Afro-Brazilian, meaning a black Brazilian, right? And his mother was white American.
Okay.
His father is now deceased in the comics, but he's also from, so not only is he Brazilian, but he's from money.
Okay.
So they described him as like the Brazilian Bruce Wayne when it comes to the money.
Gotcha. Right?
But he's also kind of like Superman in that his power set, he absorbs solar energy. Matter of fact, not just solar energy. He can absorb many types of light energy.
Yeah.
Not from just all stars are suns, basically.
Right.
So let's just go with that. So like Superman, he absorbs power from the sun. And the more he absorbs, the stronger he gets.
Yep.
So he's got the power set. He's got the money. Matter of fact, the money is that he was able to buy out Advanced Idea Mechanics, AIM, in the comic books. So that's a lot. So that's billionaire status, right?
So he bought AIM.
He bought the AIM industry.
Where is their money from?
Well, they're a criminal organization, so they they buy and steal technology.
Not AIM. Sorry, Sunspot. Where is his family's money from?
I didn't get into it, but it's like it's like inherited money.
Okay.
So some corporation that his father and his family had developed before then. So he was born into money, and then he inherited the company from his family.
Okay. So really, real Bruce Wayne, like.
Yeah, definitely. So his power set, he's average height, blah blah blah, but so day to day, even in his human form, he's absorbing energy, right? But he has this ability to go like completely black, right? So it's like a corona effect.
Okay.
His skin and everything around him just turns completely black, except for his eyes, which are white.
Yeah.
And in that form, he's able to absorb even more energy, right? And he can use this energy to fly, to enhance his strength. He's at the 50-ton level.
Okay.
He can shoot energy out of his hands. So and besides that, even before his power set, right, he was trained by Wolverine and other mutants.
Yeah.
He's been in combat with the likes of Captain America, Black Panther. So even before his power set, I mean, he's a pretty, badass.
Yeah.
His fighting skills and things like that. So this is one of those guys where, I mean, again, he could show up anywhere. He's obviously had.
He's a mutant, right?
Yes.
So he was born with the powers.
Yeah, exactly. He was born with the powers, but they didn't manifest themselves. It's funny. It's not funny, but his powers manifested at a football game because he was into sports as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And it manifested on the football field, so in front of like everybody.
Wow.
So, so this kid, but I mean, he was part of the New Mutants.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's different variants of of him in not in the MCU, but in the comics.
Yeah.
He, because of his powers, he aged, and as he got older, he got more powerful, things like that. But this guy, this would be a perfect. He's not so powerful that his power set couldn't be portrayed in a movie even.
Right.
But I definitely think that he should get some kind of screen time or some kind of something.
Well, he was in Days of Future Past. So remember you talked about X-Men First Class earlier.
Yep.
I think that was the second movie. And that was when Wolverine Hugh Jackman was prime Wolverine.
Yep.
If you remember, he was sent back in the past, and he woke up. Remember the scene where he wakes up in the waterbed?
Yep.
And he's got the bone claws, and they shoot him up. Dude, that was the biggest and best Hugh Jackman's ever looked. And to your point, he don't look like that now, and that's why there's sleeves on the Wolverine costume. But hey, we're not hating. I'm just saying. Dude, I don't look like that either. I'm not confused, but I'm also. I mean, well, y'all saw my Wolverine costume. But anyways, you know how in that movie Days of Future Past, the future scenes is like that, apocalyptic New York or wherever they are, and the X-Men are fighting the Sentinels, and they continue to do that kind of time loop where they go back and forth. Well, Sunspot was one of the X-Men there. But you only knew if you knew. Like, I don't think they said his name once. He kind of had a similar power set. He looked like, he looked like a mixed individual. I actually think the actor was Mexican, maybe, who played them, who played him. So, to play off of that Brazilian black and white mix. I mean, so it looked the part per se, but you knew nothing about him. Right. But you did get to see that power where you're talking about. He would absorb power and shoot it back at the Sentinels or whatnot. Right. But that's the only spot that we've seen him in. Yeah. And I've seen him in some like I think he's in a Secret Invasion comic. And I don't know if he's in Civil War or not. He might be, but he's always been just like a side character that I never knew much about outside of that's his name, and he's like shooting shit at people.
Right. But again, a travesty because I mean, this is a very powerful character. Yeah. Not just a powerful mutant, but a powerful potential character that again can show up in any movie, any MCU movie, or any place, and even if they did something like, he showed up as the billionaire that he is. Yeah. That would be like a cool segue into something that he could then take into something further. So, completely underrated. We don't need to make a version of him, a female version of him. Right. We don't need to, we just bring the character out. Absolutely. This is, again, another one of those characters that have been just, tucked away in a closet somewhere. But I think would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and dude, I've seen in the comic where he's all black. Yep. Then we're talking blacked out. Right. And he has like little spots of fire. Right. And then the eyes are white with usually the yellow suit. Right. It's a badass looking character.
Yeah, he is. I mean, also that power because he's constantly absorbing this solar radiation. Yeah. He doesn't need to eat, so he's self-sustaining. So
you don't have to stop and get food out the vending machine when he's saving the babies falling from the building?
No, not at all.
Nice.
None of that flash stuff.
Nice. But yeah, dude, this is one I agree. And this is what excites me about the MCU, bringing the X-Men into the MCU, because then it opens up the table for characters like this. Right. Because he was an X-Men at times, right? He was the X-Force, I think, as well.
X-Force.
Yeah. And then I even read he was in the event in some Avengers comics as well too. I don't know if he was an Avenger or not, but everyone's an Avenger, right?
Well, I mean, he's had so many kind of associations. He was associated with I forget what it was, but like it was like with criminal elements, as well as the superhero elements.
Yeah, I read something about the Hellfire Club.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in that? Okay.
Yep.
And it was a New Mutants comic as well, but. Yeah, and this guy, they created in 1982, so it's been around.
Oh yeah,
been around, dude. It's older than me.
So and that's what I don't understand about DCU, MCU.
Yeah,
it's like they spend so much time respinning. I mean, how many Spider-Mans have we had? How many Batmans have we had? How many Supermans have we had? But then you don't hear about these type of characters. Why don't we hear about these type of characters? Who knows?
Right.
But they're there. I think they would make amazing movies, done correctly, not by Waititi, but
right.
I think this character would be the MCU would benefit from having a character like this.
Yeah, and even you mentioned AIM, right? Yeah. That's also an organization that we've not seen portrayed right on screen.
Right.
Like the only movie I looked it up, the only movie that AIM is in is Iron Man 3. And they're the government-funded agency that builds that extremist or whatnot, like or government-sanctioned, privately funded think tank. And Aldrich Killian, the main villain, is the one who started. So a very different take than like the comics.
Right. And
it was kind of there and gone. But in the comics, AIM's a big deal.
Oh yeah, they're one of those super secret organizations. I think their thing is tech and other sciences and stuff, and they'll get it by any means necessary.
Yeah. So that's I'd like to see that portrayed correctly on screen. But to your point, and this when we say so we did get a lot of shit about our Silver Surfer take, and it's like it's not about I don't care if there's female characters everywhere,
right?
As long as it makes sense,
right?
And our point is for comic book stuff like they changed characters and like the Little Mermaid. They had Haley Bailey, who's black, as Little Mermaid, and half the country lost their shit because a mermaid. Like, dude, I have no issue with that at all.
Right.
I think her voice was great. I think she looks great as Little Mermaid. I have no issue with that. My issue is when we're talking a comic universe.
Right.
Like, there's not countless Disney characters that you can just pull from like this database and go, oh, we have Brazilian, we have it. They have to create them. That's different. Right. They're already created. Dude.
Yep.
They're there. There's plenty, so we need something with strong females. There's plenty of strong female characters. Right. We don't have to take one that's always male, switch it to female, or vice versa.
Right.
We love Mystique. Let's make it a dude. Why? Keep Mystique a female. Right. We're good. Let's make Professor X female. Let's not.
Yeah.
Like for race stuff, they're there.
Exactly.
Find the one, pull them out. There's Native American characters. There's Asian. There's Indian. There's American, Canadian, Hispanic. They're there.
Yep. Pick one. Yep. Pick a race, creed, color, gender, size, whatever. They're there.
And you can't use the excuse, well, that's not a popular character. Dude, a lot of these characters, like Iron Man. Iron Man was not top tier popular.
Right.
MCU helped make him that, right? Spider-Man, you can argue, probably one of the most popular characters ever. Batman, sure. But, I mean, Aquaman?
Right. So they become popular by presenting them and letting the public decide whether they're popular or not. I mean, and there is something about, if you keep putting people in front of, characters in front of people, they will become popular or not. But at least, put them in front of people. And they do such a poor job of putting they got all these comic book characters. A lot of people don't read comics, but they go to movies.
Right.
So they're actually, cutting their own foot off by not presenting these characters like this.
Yep. And try to walk after you cut your own foot off.
Right.
Can't do it. Nope. All right. Nice job. Another hidden gem. Dude, I'm excited about the Christmas one now. So you can't let me down because I asked a few weeks, we were joking. You said, thank God there wasn't a Thanksgiving character.
Thanksgiving man or whatever.
Yeah, fucking turkey guy. Because you had Hobgoblin for Halloween. So you set the bar high, dude.
Well, Thanksgiving is again, it's like a speed bump, as far as the holidays are concerned. So there is no goblin guy.
Right.
Goblin, not, Halloween goblin, but turkey goblin. So thank God there's no, Thanksgiving man or whatever it is, but there's definitely Christmas characters.
All right. So we got a couple weeks left. All right. So now agree to disagree.
All right.
This is our segment where I rapid fire 10 of my opinions at Adrian, and you let me know if you agree or disagree. But where the real fun starts is when you all at home, you let us know if you agree or disagree, because a lot of times you don't. Okay. And contrary to popular belief, we're not just saying these things to be, contrary or be controversial. These are actually our opinions.
Yep.
I don't pay Adrian to agree with me. If he happens to agree with me, I mean, partly why we started doing this show is we have a lot of similar opinions about comics. And
sure.
We're like, shit, let's get so we're this ain't what was that show with? We're not undisputed. It's just we're not Skip and Shannon. We're not going to sit and argue all day. Like that's not why we started doing the show. You want to do that? Go watch Skip. I mean, that turned out well. Shannon left the show, so go watch that. Which I love the show, but I'm just saying that's not who we are. So agree to disagree. You ready?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, X-Men would destroy the Justice League.
That's wow. Let's come back to that one.
Oh, come on, right now, put you on the spot.
Okay.
You could disagree?
Yes, agree.
You agree? Okay.
Yep.
Batman shouldn't kill.
Agree.
Crocs shouldn't be worn in public.
I agree, even though I'm wearing them.
So you can't. No, that's a disagree. You're wearing them.
But hey.
You do, yeah. You want to show them off there? You got the cap on it. So that's those emblems.
I got Marvel on left and DC on the right.
There you go. Okay.
Something like that.
Look at that. Love it. See, I put some stuff because I wanted to test you because people say, "Oh, he's agreeing with you." I want to throw some shit at you that I'm like, I know you're wearing them in public. So,
right.
All right. And I have some stuff in here that you've said otherwise on the podcast, so I'm testing you. Okay. All right. Next up, She-Hulk was better than Secret Invasion.
Ugh.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Disagree.
Okay. Spider-Man is more popular than Wolverine.
Agree.
You said opposite 2 weeks ago.
Well, so in doing this research, you realize, so my opinion, I like Wolverine better than Spider-Man. But Spider-Man worldwide is definitely more popular than Wolverine.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Venom 1 and 2 were better than The Flash. These are the hard questions.
These are hard. Agree.
Okay. Pineapple does belong on pizza.
Absolutely.
The world is not flat.
The world is not flat.
Okay. Wanda will return to the MCU.
Agree.
Spider-Man 3. This is the old one with the Venom, with Topher Grace plays him. Spider-Man 3 is better than the Eternals.
Yes, agree.
All right, cool. That one's gonna get some hate, I can tell you. There's like a diehard Eternals fan base out there.
Why?
Why? Dude, we get every week people give a shit about the Eternals. I don't get the Eternals hate. It's so great. I'm like, how?
The concept of the Eternals, I think, is great.
Yes, I agree.
The movie itself was not so much.
No, for me, it was just. It wasn't the worst movie ever. It was one of the most boring movies ever.
Right. It was a letdown. It was like Thor: Love and Thunder. It was a disappointment because you come in thinking that this is going to happen.
Yep.
And you're going to feel it because it's not just how you think about the characters. Yep. It's your emotions are wrapped around the characters on top of you looking for a good movie, right?
Right.
And it was like disappointment over disappointment over disappointment. So that's why the movie itself was not good at all.
To me, it just felt like it never got out of first gear. It was just like, all right, when's the movie going to, when's it going to get fun? When's it going to get interesting? When's it? Yeah. It was just here the whole time. So, anyway, well, that's agree to disagree.
The Eternals was the Thanksgiving of movies. It was a speed bump to something better.
Yep, there you have it. Now, would you rather watch the Eternals again or Thor: Love and Thunder?
I'd rather watch Eternals again, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because the speed chick was pretty cool. I like the fact that she was like, forget all this mess, and she actually went back to the spaceship and just stayed there for, 100 years, hundreds of years, or thousands of years, just reading all the books and stuff.
Yeah.
So, she was the saving grace to me in that movie.
Yeah, okay. I'm probably with you. The more I think, because at least at least it wouldn't be corny.
Yeah.
Like, Thor Love and Thunder is corny. Yeah. That's what, now, if y'all are young out there, that's what we used to say back in the 90s. Corny is like whack, stupid, whatever, but it's cringy, right? Yeah. Like that. At least Eternals wasn't cringy. Mm. Thor and Love and Thunder was fucking
You know
cringy.
what that split was? That was like the creepy uncle move. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what?
All right. Well, next up, King of the Comic Movies, Adrian.
All right, let's do it.
This is where, now, see, if you watch the show, we definitely disagree on these sometimes. Not a lot. It's why we have our little two-face coin here, okay? Right. So that's tails. That's heads. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can, but if not, you have to trust me. All right. So the way this works is we have a big pool of comic book movies, and there's a bracket we went through last week. And this is the second half of round one. There's two movies pitted up against each other, pretty random. Mm-hmm. Me and Adrian will give our opinion on which one we think is a better movie. That's it. Not which is our favorite, which not do we like the actor, not just which one's a better movie. Yep. And our goal, or what will happen, is in a few weeks we will determine the king of the comic book movies. I know that it won't be The Flash. Adrian, I bet my two-face coin right here that it won't be The Flash.
I am not he who is always right, and no. I can predict that.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with The Batman. This is the Robert Pattinson, The Batman, versus Shazam, Fury of Gods, the second Shazam. I'm going Batman.
You could have just stopped at Shazam.
I know.
Yeah, Batman.
It's Shazam's there just because it's a comic book movie, but we knew it would be out in the first round.
Yeah, speed bump.
Yep. Ooh, The Flash versus Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh man.
I'm going Wakanda Forever.
I'm going Wakanda Forever. I mean, just off of momentum.
Yeah. At least. As much as I do have a lot of issues with that movie, it will at least be enjoyable for the most part. Like, it's not, it just didn't live up to the first one.
Yeah.
And we do have some animated movies in here, right? So this is Batman Hush up against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this movie, I got to find which one this is. The 2014 Michael Bay version with the turtles that look like aliens.
Hush.
Yeah, I agree. Hush. Yes, that animated movie is better than that Michael Bay disaster. Thor Ragnarok versus Catwoman. Halle Berry's Catwoman. I'm going Ragnarok.
Wow. I agree.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. So this is the second movie from the 1990s with the turtle suits. The first two that were pretty dark.
Yeah.
This is the second one up against Glass. Glass is the third movie in the Unbreakable trilogy with Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis.
Oh, is that with the guy that turns into some and just starts werewolfing across the yard?
Yes.
What was the first one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I'm going Turtles 2 versus Glass.
Since I don't even really remember it, I go with Turtles.
That was the movie where Bruce Willis' character, he's the guy from Unbreakable.
Yeah.
He dies in a puddle at the end.
Right.
Like, this guy, Mr. Unbreakable, fucking drowns in a 3-inch puddle.
So just like last week where we talked about Batman or whoever versus Black Panther.
Black Panther versus. Yep.
So just drown him.
Yeah.
Don't take out the suit.
Yeah.
You can't get through the suit. Just drown him.
Absolutely. The Dark Knight, one of your favorite movies, up against Blade 2. I'm going Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, Blade 2. Blade.
Wow, we're gonna have to flip a coin here.
All right, let's do it.
Threw me for a loop there. You're a Dark Knight guy. Call it in the air.
Tails.
Son of a bitch. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, the animated movie that came out earlier this year.
Okay.
Up against another animated movie, Justice League War. I'm going with Turtles.
Turtles.
All right. The Incredible Hulk versus Spider-Man 3.
Just stop.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man.
Iron Man 2 versus Hancock with Will Smith.
Iron Man.
Yes. That was before Will's entanglements and whatnot with Jada. Batman Forever versus Birds of Prey. Oh, Birds of Prey all day.
Birds of Prey.
Spawn versus Aquaman. I'm going Spawn.
Jason Momoa, Aquaman?
Yeah. I figured you'd probably remember Aquaman. All right. Call it in the air.
Heads.
Heads. Motherfucker,
2-0.
2-0. What the hell? All right. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 versus Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Guardians all day.
Guardians.
I think Watchmen, Adrian, is one of the most overrated comic movies ever.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't. It's not an enjoyable movie.
It's just whatever.
It's depressing and just I don't know. Anyways, Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox versus Batman '89, Michael Keaton.
Flash.
This is hard, man. Because I love the Flash movie's great, but this is OG Batman, first one. Jack Nicholson Joker. I'm gonna go Batman. We're at the flip a coin.
Okay,
call it.
Heads.
Heads. What in the hell? This game's rigged.
You don't want to toss in the coin. I know. 3-0. Just saying.
Shazam.
Just stop.
Next 300.
300. The movie 300.
Yes.
Oh my God, 300 all the way.
Did you know that was based off a comic?
Yes, I did. I don't know what comic did it, but
Frank Miller wrote it. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. That's the second Michael Bay travesty. Against Justice League Throne of Atlantis. That's the animated movie. I'm going Throne of Atlantis.
Throne of Atlantis.
Actually, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Guardians 3 versus Split. Split is the second movie in that Unbreakable trilogy where the guy you're talking about, the beast that jumps around when they're locked in this building and he has multiple personalities.
Don't care. You can stop.
Yep, Guardians.
Actually, after the first one, Unbreakable, it was like, I'm not even
Split
interested.
was really good. I
okay.
enjoyed Split, but when it got to Glass, like, what the hell is happening? That was
good.
Superman Returns versus Blade. I'm going Blade.
Blade. It's like the kid got like one shot and he was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a decent Superman, but I mean, if they would have made him like year 1, year 2 Superman, like they're doing with Pattinson's Batman, it would have kind of made sense. But to have him return as an established,
he was. That's the one where he's supposed to be the same character as the Christopher Reeves, right? It's just later he comes back and he looks similar to him, but it's like very unneeded. Like who wanted that?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Like, I wish we could ask these guys. Like, I know y'all made the movie, but who's asking for that?
Right.
What fan base? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse up against The Wolverine. So that's the second. That's the one where they go to Japan. I'm going Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Wonder Woman versus Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the animated movie from the 90s.
Wonder Woman.
The first Wonder Woman. I'm reaching for the coin
already.
already.
Batman Phantasm.
Yep.
Phantasm.
All right. No coin. We agree. Batman Under the Red Hood up against Fantastic Four. This is the 2015 one where Michael B. Jordan plays Human Torch. I'm going Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Captain America Civil War up against Dark Phoenix.
Civil War.
Do I even need to ask?
Wow.
X-Men Origins Wolverine against Deadpool. That's interesting. Deadpool all day.
Deadpool.
But what's interesting about that is if you remember, Ryan Reynolds played Wade Wilson in that other movie too.
Yep.
God, that was so bad.
It was.
That movie, dude, that movie pissed me off because there was parts of it that were really cool, right? I mean, Hugh Jackman was in great shape in that movie. He had the look down really well at that point, right? Liv Schreiber, who plays Victor, that was also great. Like, dude, seeing those nails and him scratching this like that makes me cringe. And when he stomps on Wolverine's claws and snaps him in half on the train tracks, like there was some really cool shit in that movie. Right. but then, God, that ending.
Hey.
Like, you used to talk about the whole Chris Pratt thing. Like, did they do a joke to make him blow up like that, like he was fat or whatnot? And then the Deadpool thing, where Deadpool's known for running his mouth, and they literally give us Deadpool with the mouth sewn shut, and the blades coming out of his. Like, what the hell was that?
Right. It's like you got through the pie, and at the very end, you saw the rat tail.
Yeah, right next to a big pile of shit. Black Widow versus Blade Trinity. I've never even seen Blade Trinity, and I'm going Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity. Wow.
Yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man versus Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Dude, so I actually rewatched that movie the other night.
What,
Venom.
Amazing Spider-Man or
No, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Because, and I did it for you all, because everyone was saying that we're crazy for our Venom hate. And I was like, maybe I am. Let me rewatch this movie. And the thing, it's not a bad comic book movie. It's just a bad portrayal of Venom, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, I'm not the Venom expert, but I don't remember Venom being an alien version of Deadpool, where he's just is the funniest guy in the world all day long.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. And Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock is just weird to me. He walks around like he's drunk all the time. Yeah. But he's not.
It's funny. I saw Tom Holland in an episode of Star Trek.
Really?
Enterprise. I mean, he was an asshole. He raped.
Wait, Tom Holland or Tom Hardy?
I mean, Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Not Holland.
Got it.
That would be good. I think that was before Tom Holland was even.
Yeah, I was like, is this a new one? No, Tom Holland was in there.
So he raped the onboard psychiatrist or something like that. So that was kind of weird. He looked weird even back then.
Yeah.
But it was just I never felt him as Venom.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He just he's not a good fit.
No, it's a weird portrayal. And now I will say that the Venom character on screen looks really cool. Yeah, like, that is a highlight of. So those movies are better than I remember them for that type of stuff. The plot is just like, okay, but a lot of the fight scenes were cool. Carnage looks really cool. Yeah, I can't lie about that. But I agree, Amazing Spider-Man. That's another movie that I saw again recently, which is a lot better than I remember it. Wanted. That's the 2009 film with Angelina Jolie. Yep. Right, where they curve the bullets or whatever. Yeah. Versus Guardians 2. I'm going Guardians 2.
Guardians 2. I wonder how many people got hurt trying to pull that stupid stunt. Because somebody did.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go try that shit in the woods and then trying to. Yeah.
Hey, Mom, stand up by the door. Let me see if I can curve this bullet around you.
Yep. Venom. Speaking of, versus The Mask. Did you know The Mask was a comic book movie?
At the time, I did not.
Me neither.
But later on, I'll go with The Mask because it is what it is.
Yes,
it's a comedy movie. So,
yeah, The Mask is a classic, dude.
Yeah.
Batman Begins versus Morbius.
Batman.
I don't even need to ask. Justice League. This is the Joss Whedon Justice League cut.
Yep.
Up against Daredevil, the Ben Affleck version.
Jesus.
I want a Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil. It works.
I haven't seen the movie in a while, but
yeah,
I don't remember.
I was thinking about it.
That's didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little weird. The dude who played Kingpin, the portrayal was a little off.
Yeah.
He was more goofy, like.
Right.
But
he was better in the Green Mile.
Yeah, he was absolutely. And I thought Ben Affleck did a decent job at. Yeah. I mean, for the time, the movie was all right. Right nowadays, it'd be up there with Eternals.
And his girl was in there too, right?
Yeah,
as
Elektra.
Elektra, yeah.
Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah, Jennifer Gardner.
Yep. Who are both rumored to reprise the roles in one of these multiverse movies coming up.
Sure. Did you see her in Peppermint?
No.
You see the movie Peppermint? She's pretty badass.
Yeah?
Yeah. You should watch it, dude. It's pretty cool.
Never even heard of it. Peppermint?
Yeah, she's basically revenge, kind of a revenge movie.
Okay.
It's kind of like a...
Like that J-Lo movie where she comes back and fights her guy who was beating her up, revenge type shit?
No, this is like, not to spoil it for you, but her husband was, kind of, they kind of broke, kind of struggling or whatever, and he's supposed to do this job, but he at the last minute backed out. He made a phone call, say, hey, I don't want to do this job. And so people were relying on him to do that job. Yeah. And they ended up doing a drive-by, killing him and their daughter. Okay. So she went out, trained herself, typical shit.
This is new. Huh? Newer,
yeah. It's like in the last definitely within like the last 5 years.
Okay, when you describe it, I'm like, I know I've seen that trailer, but I've never seen the movie.
So it's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Next up, Captain America, the Winter Soldier versus Thor, the Dark World.
Cap
all day. Ant-Man versus Joker. I'm going Joker.
Joker, like the Joker movie?
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix version.
Didn't see it. So I'll lean on your expertise on that one.
Unless you want to fight for Ant-Man.
No.
The Punisher.
It's cool that the guy is pretty much immortal.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. That dude is like...
Which I love his portrayal of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And that movie wasn't bad. It was just, it ain't, I don't think it's anyone's favorite. Like, is Ant-Man... Let me ask you guys, is Ant-Man anyone's favorite character out there? Have you ever met anyone, Adrian? You've read comics for almost your whole life, right? Mm-hmm. Just about a good chunk of your life. Right. You ever met anyone that said, yo, Ant-Man's my guy, he's my favorite?
No, never.
No.
Even though the tech is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But, no.
No, me neither. No offense.
Well, Ant-Man or Goliath or, either one, because he was kind of both of them. The original one. The original Ant-Man, not this version.
Yep. The Punisher versus the 2004 film versus Batman Returns. Batman Returns, yeah, that 2004 film was kind of not good. Now, the series on Netflix is bad. Yeah, I've not seen that yet.
Bad meaning good, but,
Well, yeah, we got to
just make sure we're clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings versus Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man.
Duh. All right. Well, there you have it, Adrian. That is part 2 of round 1. So next week we'll do round 2. We'll go through the whole thing, and we have some interesting. I won't go through them all. Just kind of name a couple. We got the Avengers versus Doctor Strange. All right. We have Dick Tracy against Avengers Endgame.
Wait a minute. Oh, the Avengers movie versus Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
For a second, I'm like, the whole Avengers group versus Doctor Strange?
No, the movie's for next week.
Yeah, got it.
Your favorite, The Matrix. We have that up next week against Batman versus Robin. We have Guardians 3 versus Justice League, Throne of Atlantis. So a lot of good stuff here. We got Civil War versus Deadpool. That's a good one. Amazing Spider-Man versus Blade Trinity, and a handful of others. So next week we'll hit round 2 of that. Now, Adrian, this is where we respond.
Okay.
So I picked out a few comments, and there's really no format to this. We're just going to go through some comments that you guys left online and some that we feel like responded to. So Bob Haley on TikTok says, negative, Endgame is the better film. Avengers Assemble, in quotations, is one of the greatest movie moments ever. Because we said Infinity War was better than Endgame. Mm-hmm. My response to this is Endgame has better moments at times. It does have some iconic moments. Sure. But as a film as a whole, Infinity War is leaps and bounds better than Endgame.
I agree. No need to elaborate.
Don't even. Yeah. All right. Then my man Rio De Leon 313 says Blue Beetle was one of the best movies this year. How you struggling on that? Well,
how you struggling that Blue Beetle is one of the best movies this year?
The best movies of the year. Yeah.
Wow.
Now it wasn't a bad movie. We gave it good reviews, but one of the best movies of the year? No, I mean it was one of the mid movies of the year. It was better than Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Apple user 652858166.
Wow.
Bro, first of all, could you get a name? Why are you Apple user?
Wow.
Just go to your profile and change your name. Anyways, and I know it's not a bot because it's a real comment. He says Silver Surfer, or Apple user says Silver Surfer casting. If I had more thumbs to point them down, LOL. Me too.
I agree with that.
Yep. If I had more thumbs, I would definitely put them down as well. TikTok user BMJ says release the original cut of Wonder Woman 1984. LOL. Here, LOL, and my face is like this. What else we got here? We have my man Nemesis maybe says, I'm sorry, but Marvel's was it's just like 100,000% than Black Adam. I think they mean better than Black Adam. The Marvels.
The Marvels was 100,000% better than Black Adam. Wow. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Hey, we have our opinions.
Yeah.
He has his
opinion. We're gonna agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree on that one. Keon Young on TikTok says Black Adam wasn't that bad. It's just poor timing and DC was in shambles. I couldn't agree more.
I absolutely agree.
Yep. Now I think that's a movie you like probably more than me.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot though. I thought it's a fun movie.
Yep.
It's very it's rewatchable.
Right.
It's entertaining.
Right.
Right. Is the plot the best in the world? No, God no.
Right.
Is The Rock the best actor in the world? No. Does he do a good job at Black Adam?
Yes.
You know. So what else we got? Oh, my man Straw Hat Shawty on TikTok says Infinity War is the best of the 4 Avengers movies. 100%. He agrees. Next up, Adrian. Dalton Pierce 8538 on YouTube says, what's y'all opinion on Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic? So did you hear that rumor?
I did not.
So Pedro Pascal, the actor, he plays he's in The Last of Us. The Last of Us. You watch The Last of Us on HBO with the zombie apocalypse, the video game show.
Yeah.
So he plays Joel.
Yep.
He's also the Mandalorian guy. He's also he's in a handful of stuff. But the rumor is that he's going to play Mr. Fantastic.
Boo. No.
No?
No.
You're not feeling that?
No. Wrong person.
Really?
Absolutely wrong person. Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
Wrong person.
Yeah. I'm 50-50.
Nope.
I'm not seeing it. I don't think so.
I feel about that the way you feel about candy corn.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
Wow. I wouldn't go that crazy.
No.
The only reason I hesitate is he is an amazing actor. So part of me goes, he's got something up his sleeve, where but based off of what I've seen him in and the characters he's portrayed, I agree with you. I don't think that's a good fit.
Halle Berry is an amazing actress. She is not Catwoman, and she is not Storm.
She's definitely not Storm either. Yeah. No, you're right. So, yeah, no, I don't think I'm feeling that, dude. I don't think I'm feeling that one. And then my boy Mike. So I know we addressed this last week, but since we have the same name, he says this video. He says Loki is the best MCU show. The next, he says WandaVision is better than Loki. They can't even keep their own facts straight. Well, Mike, if you look at let me tell you something about how social media works. When you post something, there's a date on it. Okay, and if you want to know which one came first, just look at the fucking date, bro.
Right.
You're right. At first, we said WandaVision was better because at that time, on that date, it was.
Right.
Then Loki season 2 wrapped up, and we said, you know what? We actually said it on Agree to Disagree. I said, hey, you think this one's better? I do, and you agreed.
Matter of fact, we explained that this whole process.
Absolutely.
That, we at one point we thought that WandaVision was great, then Loki came out, so we went through that whole step. So anyway.
There you go.
Watch more Only Comics.
That's it. Yeah, watch more. So anyway, and actually, we got one more. My man Russ Batman 3. He was talking about you, Adrian. So he said, homeboy is wrong about Wolverine. Sorry, Spider-Man is way more popular than Wolverine. I mean, it's not even close. Which you agreed to.
Well, I clarified that today.
Yes.
I like Wolverine as a character better than Spider-Man because Wolverine is raw.
Yeah.
He got that whole pretty much live for a couple of 100 years thing going on.
Right.
But I do agree that Spider-Man is more popular by far, worldwide than Wolverine.
And there you have it. See, so we change our opinions sometimes. We evaluate them. we're not that stubborn on here on Only Comics. I think that's a good way to say it. We're not stubborn, right? Yep. So there it is. There you have it this week. We responded. You commented. So, hey, let us know how you feel about this week's show. We'll do the same next week. You know, what I wanted to wrap with, Adrian. So last week on Agree to Disagree, we said that Captain Marvel would beat Superman, right? I threw that out there. You thought about it a little bit, and you asked which one. I said Carol Danvers. You're like, yep. Mm-hmm. And the universe, there's a handful of people that agree with us wholeheartely. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that think we're in a different universe.
Right.
They think we're crazy. So I figured, just like we did with the Batman, Black Panther, let's talk through it. Okay. So we got Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, we're talking.
Yep.
And we're talking just regular old Cal Superman, right? Because, like, what's Superman? Just... You know how it just says Superman?
Right.
Then just Superman.
Right.
If it was Black Superman or Dead Superman or whatever Superman, we would have said that, right? So Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel against Superman. And so everyone watching, you have a better understanding and knowledge of power sets, powers, how they interact. Like, you get that part better than me.
Right.
Right? So I'm gonna ask you some questions. So we got Captain, and this is why I'll tell you why I said this. Okay. So to me, from my knowledge of this character, Superman has a weakness. Mm-hmm. He's got kryptonite, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not aware of Captain Marvel's overbearing weakness. I don't know what that is. Superman, he gets his power from the sun or a sun, correct?
Correct. Any yellow sun.
Captain Marvel, from what I understand, harnesses the power of a sun, essentially.
Essentially.
So to me, I'm going, she harnesses the power of the same object that he gets his power from, which makes her more powerful to me in my gorilla math. I could be off.
I'm thinking about the power set. I'm thinking she doesn't get her power from a sun. She gets her power from something else.
Right. No, I'm saying she has the equivalent of the power of the sun.
Right.
And Superman, he has to be around the sun to recharge his power pretty much.
Correct.
So to me, I'm going, if she harnesses the power that a sun would have, and he has to rely on a sun for power, would make me think that she's more powerful than him.
Right. So this is why I say that Captain Marvel can beat Superman. One, Superman is not going to kill.
Right.
We already know that Carol Danvers can kill.
Yeah.
Right.
She don't give a shit.
Number one. Number two, Superman, he has, while he absorbs, because I know some people are going to say, well, you know, when she outputs her power, he's going to absorb the power.
Okay.
Well, he does have limits as to how much we've seen that, right? He can only absorb so much at, you know, a specific period of time.
Right.
So she could basically explode him or oversaturate him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another way.
So so you're saying she would dish out so much power that it'd be too much for him to absorb?
Yes.
And what would happen to him?
Well, what we've seen in, it's a show. I forget which one it was. He got over-radiated. Lex Luthor made the sun kind of like put out more energy.
Okay.
So Superman got over-radiated.
Yeah.
And he started dying because he was over. Now his powers increased for that period of time.
Yeah.
But he became over-radiated and essentially started dying.
Okay.
Now, what they say was he went and, like, you know, he turned into a star basically and all this other kind of stuff. But then that's a different type of Superman.
Right, right.
So we're not talking about him transforming. We're talking about the base.
Yep.
So I think that he could be oversaturated.
Okay.
He can also be, you know, knocked unconscious. Yeah. You know, can Superman actually die? Sure.
Yeah.
So I think there's various ways. Also, the type of energy that Captain Marvel puts out, we don't know what its actual effect can be on Superman, because Superman's powers are very defined.
Yeah.
You know, he got the eye thing, he got the cold breath thing, which he can't use in space. So if they go out in space, so that's off the table.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's stronger than her.
Okay. Who's faster?
Well, let's think about that. So who's faster? Because Captain Marvel does fly between galaxies.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So face value, probably Superman is faster.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely able to move faster than her. So if you just talk about straight flight, Who knows? But he's definitely able to move because he can move like Flash.
Right.
So he can move around. But his big weaknesses are he's not able to commit. You know, like Batman, it's not that he's not able, he's not willing to commit.
Right.
So I think that alone puts him in a very vulnerable situation.
Yeah.
Now, and I do believe that Captain Marvel can put out enough power that would oversaturate him.
Right.
So I think that would be the way to kill him.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then the thing that, I mean, always the plot, not plot hole, but the kind of safety net there with Superman is always the kryptonite.
Right.
What's to stop Captain Marvel from zipping across the galaxy to Krypton and get some kryptonite and shove it right in Superman's neck?
Oh, there's that. There's that.
She's strong enough to do it, right?
Yep. Now, are we talking about these two people meeting up on a street corner and going at it, or are we talking about preparation? So
no, I think we're talking no prep. So,
no prep?
So that wouldn't be fair. But I mean, Captain Marvel. Now, who would have the advantage in space?
I don't really think there is an advantage. I don't think space gives either one of them an advantage, actually. Gotcha.
But you're still standing on Captain Marvel defeats Superman.
I do.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and again, mine was from a little different perspective, but even when you break it down, I don't see a way where Superman would beat her. And to your point, Captain Marvel, known as the Annihilator, right? She'll kill. She don't give a shit.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that Can Superman kill Captain Marvel? Sure.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fight. It'll definitely be a fight.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not going to be a laydown. We're not saying that Captain Marvel's going to come in and steamroll Superman in 4 seconds. Like, it would be a back and forth.
Yep.
But I think I agree. I think she would outlast him eventually.
The only thing that I can think of is, Superman's strength and speed, right? If he just quickly, because it's like a Flash thing, right? If he just quickly, he could probably just snap a neck.
Yeah.
And it'll be over, right? So, I'm still going to go with Captain Marvel defeats Superman.
Right.
But there are ways either way. There's ways either way.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree. I think 9 times out of 10, I think Captain Marvel wins.
So it's almost like, two very popular football teams. Yes, they can defeat each other.
Right.
One can defeat the other one, and the other one can defeat the other one.
Sure.
But who wins it in the end?
Exactly.
I think it'll be Captain Marvel.
Absolutely. Yep, no doubt. So, well, there you have it, dude. I think that wraps this week. Next week, we'll be back again with the rest of the tournament. Some good news and, another We Respond. So hit us with the comments. Let us know. Did you like what we said? Did you agree? Did you not? Do you have a crazy take? Like, the guy who a couple weeks ago, he said that the Venom movies are better than every Spider-Man movie except for the animated ones. We know he lives in another universe. He's not here with you and I, Adrian.
Right.
So
he's not on Earth 616.
No, he's definitely not on Earth 616. Nope, he's out there. Somehow he fell into the multiverse. And hey, dude, nice socks, by the way.
Thank you.
Yep. So I mean, I was joking about the Crocs, but the socks, they all help offset it. So I'm not going to change. I don't agree you should wear your Crocs. Now my kids love them too, so it's part of it's an inside joke. But
you know what? I've had these things for years.
Yeah.
Years. And my wife, she pulled them out because she likes to wear them, and the grandson wears them and stuff. And for getting around and stuff like that, they're easy to come on and easy to come off. So
Gotcha.
that's the appeal to me. So since I'm wearing them anyway, I decided to superhero them. So
well, that makes that helps offset them too. For me. I'm not going to change my stance on agree to disagree. And guess what? Here's a lesson for you all out there. We'll wrap with a teaching lesson, right? Neither one of us is offended.
Nope.
Adrian don't care if I don't like Crocs. He might think my shirt's stupid.
Right.
I don't care either.
I don't care if you don't like candy corn.
Exactly.
I won't eat it. I won't eat it either.
You won't eat it either.
But it's not like I don't like it. But it's just.
And if y'all don't like pineapple on pizza, I don't care because I'll get it on mine. It has to have bacon.
So let me tell you exactly.
Yeah.
So large, New York style. That's thin crust. Right. Bacon, pepperoni, and pineapple. It is amazing. Amazing.
I got to add the pineapple. I mean, I add the pepperoni because bacon and pineapple is my go-to.
Right.
I mean, back in the old Pizza Hut days, and you're like, how does this relate to comics? I don't know if you remember this, but Pizza Hut did this campaign. It was like a reading thing with school or whatnot. You go in and you get free shit. And then they also, for some reason, they had X-Men VHS tapes back when the animated series was first released. Okay. There was some type of deal with, like, you get this meal and you pay X and you get, like, the first episode. So I would get this stuff from Pizza. So that's how it applies. Right. But Pizza had the Hawaiian pizza, right, which was ham and pineapple.
Yeah, no.
But when I became a teenager, actually my wife turned me on to this. One of the first times we were hanging out as teenagers, we ordered pizza. And I'm like, Hawaiian. She's like, yeah, get bacon. And I was like, it was like an epiphany. It's like, holy shit. Bacon's like better ham. Right. Right?
Oh, like, absolutely.
Like bacon's like ham, but tastes better.
Right.
So, yeah, bacon and pineapple, dude, ever since then, that's a go-to. But I got to add the pepperoni.
Yeah, try it. I'm going to also give you this tidbit. So, it's a question.
Okay.
What are your two favorite, I'll call them, tastes? And just so it's for clarity, I'll give you mine.
Okay, yeah.
Mine are yellow mustard and bacon. Not together, but independently. Those are two universal perfect tastes to me.
Okay. God, that's You said bacon and yellow mustard.
Bacon and yellow mustard, not together.
Wow. Chocolate maybe? Chocolate maybe would be one.
Okay.
Dude, that's a tough one. I don't know. You know, I'll have to pull you. I'll have to come back to you. Now, full disclosure, I am so bad at picking favorites. I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite song. I don't have a favorite movie. I don't have a favorite hat, shirt. I don't have favorite anything.
Right.
So I'm gonna come back to you on that. Yeah. Favorite taste.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's just that over the years I've cultivated or refined my taste down to just those two things.
Okay.
And those are just like.
Yeah, you like yellow mustard that much?
Actually, I don't. No. I don't. The only time I eat mustard at all.
Yeah.
Is I cook with certain types of mustards.
Yeah.
But the only time I use mustard on any food is a hot dog. Mm-hmm. I don't even, and ketchup. The only time I eat ketchup is with French fries sometimes, depending on which place I get it from.
Yeah.
Right. If I do like a Burger King French fries, there's no ketchup.
Yeah.
McDonald's, you have to kind of mask the taste every once in a while.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got an agree to disagree for next week. I'm planning already. Okay. Cool. But yeah, because to me, I'm like the Burger King fries. You should just put those in the garbage, and you should drive to McDonald's and get those fries instead. But I think putting ketchup on McDonald's fries is a cardinal sin.
Wow.
Yeah. I think there's people in hell right now for doing that.
but guess what? I'm not offended.
No, you're not. Not at all. So on that note, ketchup. I think ketchup's one of those flavors that they perfected. Mm-hmm. A1 sauce. That's one.
Dude, Worcestershire. However you say it.
I don't even know how to say it. No.
I cook with that, and
Worcestershire.
One of those.
Okay.
Cook with that. It'll change the way you eat.
Which is part of what A1 is. Like, it's a big part of the A1 sauce, right? Yeah. But,
so the last 5 minutes has nothing to do with comics.
Not at all.
Other than comic book characters theoretically eat too.
They eat.
Right?
Yeah, we've seen meals in the long Halloween, someone gets killed on Thanksgiving, right? So they were eating. So 100%. But yeah, it had nothing to do with that, but that's what we do here on Only Comics. We get sidetracked a little bit.
Improvise a little bit.
We appreciate you guys joining us for this journey, right? Hit the subscribe button because you want more of what we have to offer here. We're back every single week. Also, check out the TikTok for our shorts. I think that's about it, Adrian. We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week doing this. Another episode. We'll get through this King of the Comics. And sound off, by all means. Let us know how you feel. We probably won't agree, but anyways, we'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.